Hi, David Sperber here with your weekly National NCSY Devar Torah deal. This week I'd like to talk about Loshon Hora because this week's Parsha has the whole deal with Miriam and speaking bad about Moshe, the whole gossiping thing. Not going to talk about the story specifically, though it's very interesting. Pay attention on your Shabbos morning regionals because regionals tomorrow for New Jersey too. A lot of other you people. So let's get talking about Loshon Hora. My first source, a very halachic one at that, is last night's episode of Modern Family. So let's bring it around. We have Cameron here talking to Manny. I'm sorry about the very bad quality. Just trying not to get copyright infringement and this taken down. And let's see what Cameron has to say.
Everyone's so polite and considerate, nothing like the constant catfights in my circle where every week somebody's mad at somebody for God knows who what, and I'm always thrown into the middle.
You seem tense.
Okay, so Cameron is really upset because he gets thrown into the middle of all these fights. So let's now go and figure out why, to try to straighten this out a little bit. Here is, Cameron talking to one of his new old lady friends, because he tends to do that sort of a thing, talking about the game of Mahjong, wherever you say it, that they just played.
Listen, Marilyn, I don't mean to stir things up, but I just saw Edith take the winning tile out of her jacket pocket.
I knew it. Nobody's that good.
Listen, I'm as shocked as you are. It just doesn't seem like Edith.
Yeah, well, goes to show. You think you know someone. Hey, what happened to all the cookies?
Oh, well, I hate to stir things up.
Okay, so I think you get where we're going with this. He obviously did something related to this week's Parsha here that's going to cause a little bit of issues. So let's go to the last clip and see what happens. He doesn't get Saras, don't worry.
That's Maj again.
Oh, well, shocker.
That's it. You're cheating.
I am not. Oh, please. You've stashed more tiles than Marilyn has cookies.
Okay, let's just take a breath. Who cares about tiles or cookies or whatever Hattie's slipping into her coffee?
I knew you were drinking again.
That's how she lost her license.
You shut your trap. Trap dead.
Screw you.
You too.
Ladies,
Ladies,
stop it. Stop it. You have been friends for 20 years. What on earth has gotten into you all? Why does drama keep following me everywhere I go? It just keeps popping up out of nowhere, like Crispin's hair plugs. And
Okay, so bringing it back over here. If I can get this to stay. Did I get it? I think so. Cool. A little bit low, but that's okay. So, in Modern Family, they're bringing up a very important point. Cameron asks, why am I getting involved in all of these different issues? And the answer is very clear. He says it himself. He gossips again right after saying, why is all this happening? So I think that the point is very clear that when you speak Loshon Hora, when you talk about all these things and you gossip, you cause a lot of strife. So now, over to something that my New Jersey Leeds Fellowship is obsessed with, the Chavetz Chaim Daily Companion, and see what he says about the strife that's caused by Loshon Hora. Firstly, this book is very interesting because it goes through all of the things that you need to think about before you speak badly about somebody else. Is it for that person's benefit? Are you doing it in order to get him in trouble? And all these different things that you need to think about before making sure that what you're saying is going to have a positive effect in this world, or else it will cause stuff like we just saw with Cameron and all of his old lady friends. So, what does the Chavetz Chaim say about this? He says in Sefer Shmirat HaLashon, he quotes the Sefer Ma'alot HaMidot. And in that book it says how damaging is strife. It can imperil one's very life. It was the feud between the shepherds of Abraham and the shepherds of Lot that caused Lot to move away from Abraham and settle in Sodom, where he almost perished along with the rest of the Sodomites. Our sages state, in another book, Derech Eretz Zuta, Perek 9, that a home in which there is strife will ultimately be destroyed, a synagogue in which there is strife will see its congregants dispersed, and ultimately will be made desolate. It goes on and on about all of these other different situations, that in a city there will be bloodshed if there's strife and all of these things. Another very interesting point is that we're coming up in a couple of months on Tisha B'Av, and it's widely said, by our sages, that the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of Sinat Chinam, baseless hatred. How does baseless hatred start? When you hear things that aren't really true about somebody else, you get into a petty fight about them, all these things that aren't so true, and they just cause, all this hate, and we have all of these issues, we have all this strife as seen in Modern Family. So, the question is how do we stop all of this? And the Chavetz Chaim goes through it. That we need to realize that when we speak to other people, that when we have all these conversations this weekend on your regionals, when you're hearing about what's gone on with friends that you haven't seen forever, possibly keep in mind that the things that you say have huge effects on other people. They can make other people very happy, very sad, cause fights when you don't really know what you're talking about. Maybe you do know what you're talking about, but is it really necessary to say what you know to somebody else? Was it really necessary for Karen to say, I think that she's cheating on her math job? What is that going to do for this world? How is that going to make this world a better place to coon along? So I will leave you with this idea that on all of your regionals this weekend and in life in general, just before you speak, think about the implications that it may have. Think about the situation that Cameron was in, the situation that our ancestors were in when we had the Beit HaMikdash and we lost it just because we caused all these stupid fights based on this. And, in that merit, may A, our regionals this weekend be epically awesome, and all of our seniors have an amazing last time on the NC Swiss Shabbaton, and B, bring Mashiach B'Yarminu. Hopefully talk to you all soon. Love you all. Good Shabbos. Have great regionals. And yeah.